What up, what up, what up? This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Happy Wednesday, guys. So we got the preseason week 1 game, first preseason game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers tomorrow night. So we're going to do a quick preview about it. What would I like to see from this game? Well, I'd like to see, the starting offense come out and do decent enough so that they don't have to play for a very long time. I think. What's up, Big Play Slay? Welcome to the house, my man. So here's what I think is gonna go down. I think depending upon how this offense plays is how long the coaches are gonna leave the starting offense in there. How long we're gonna get to see Jalen Hurts, don't know. How many reps he's gonna get, don't know. But what do I want to see from Jalen Hurts? In the past, I've seen a lot of starting quarterbacks, and I've seen a lot of starting quarterbacks do, play in preseason games, and what a starting quarterback looks like in the preseason, and kind of the things that they do. And usually you see, 7 for 10 for about 70 yards. You see 8 for 11 for like 65, maybe a touchdown, things like that, something around the 60% completion mark, maybe the 70% completion mark, and a touchdown, something along those lines. I think Donovan was phenomenal with that. I know that when Nick Foles and Michael Vick were competing to start with one another, they both did great in the competition in the offseason when it came to Chip Kelly's first year, and they both had similar numbers. Those are the types of numbers that I want to see from Jalen Hurts in the time that he gets in tomorrow's game. When it comes to Joe Flacco and Nick Mullins, I think Joe has enough experience that he's going up against the twos. He's going to know how to move the ball and work with these guys. He's gonna get a lot of time with Quez Watkins. He's probably going to get some time, with Mark and Michelle, who we just signed, obviously, because John Hightower still got the injury. So there are certain things. We're going to see a lot of Nick Mullins. We're going to see a lot of Nick Mullins, and Nick Mullins is going to get a lot of time. But again, it's one of those things where it's going to be a great amount of time, and a perfect time for Quez Watkins to continue to showcase what he can do. He's been going up against the ones. I think he's not listed with the ones on the unofficial depth chart, but he is going to get significant playing time because we have a lack of bodies. Tox Falcon says all hail King DB. Big Play Slay says welcome. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, talking Philadelphia Eagles. I'm so excited for game day tomorrow, whether win or lose. I can't wait to see the guys back out there on the field. Yeah, agreed, man. I can't agree more. And again, like, just getting back to Jalen Hurts, I think the thing is that the Steelers always do a decent job. That defensive line always does a decent job. The defense always finds a way. Obviously, TJ Watt's not going to be playing, things like that. But we saw what it's not like the Dallas Cowboys weren't moving the ball. It's not like they weren't getting chunk plays in the Hall of Fame game. Yeah, it's the Hall of Fame game, so it was a little bit boring, but they only did allow 3 points the entire game. So here's the thing. I think this can go a couple ways for Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen can put up starting numbers, kind of like what I was talking about. But if he plays poorly, we have an issue on our hands. You know what I mean? We have an issue on our hands, and that issue can get rectified. And I am going to talk about the rectification in maybe later in this stream, or maybe another stream that I might do tonight, because something just happened recently before I jumped on here that I will have to address. But we're not going to talk about that right now. Running backs, I definitely want to see Miles Sanders. I gotta see him catch the ball. I've heard it all camp about his inconsistency with holding on to the ball. We've heard the fumbling issues, we've heard the catching issues, which are just a carryover from this past year. Ever since his rookie year, really. His rookie year, he was great at catching the ball out of the backfield. He was great with handling the ball. We know this. But he is your starter. Everybody knows this, and I want to see Boston Scott. I want to see how he does. I'm really interested to see how they line up Kenny Gainwell, and how they kind of execute this offense. How are the running backs gonna do, and what roles are they gonna be utilized in? Now I'm not saying Nick Sirianni is gonna throw the whole sink out there. I don't think he is. Because it's such a secretive league when it comes to the preseason. Everybody's freaked out that everybody's gonna study the playbook here and there, so they don't give anything away in the preseason. But Nick Sirianni mentioned in his press conference that he's gonna throw in some RPOs because he thinks that is what Jalen has at his disposal. That's one of the things that he's going to be able to do best. So are we going to see some RPOs that Jalen can practice in the preseason? I think so. I think he should. I think that's something that they need to do. My personal opinion about the preseason is I think you should do what you're going to do as much as you can so that you can get better and better and better and better at it. Just keep it to a limited. Big Plus Say says the Steelers at Toxic Falcons. Oh, I see what he's saying. Toxic Falcons says Big Plus Say who do the Eagles play tomorrow? Yep, that we play the Steelers. Big Play Say says, I'm going to be honest, I think the Steelers are winning only 3 games this year. That's a very bold prediction. It's a very bold prediction. Wide receivers. Let's stay on the wide receivers here. Now, obviously, probably Devontae Smith is not going to play. We're aware of this. They're going to be precautious with him. Do I think he's going to come back in preseason week 2? Yes, I do. I think he's going to come back in preseason week 2. I think he's going to play then. But we got to see, right now they have Travis Fulgham and Jalen Reagor listed on the outside, and they got Greg Ward listed in the slot. And that's how the unofficial depth chart is listed for the wide receivers. And so I got to see what Jalen Reagor can do. I want to see progression from Travis Fulgham. It's an exciting time, guys. I think we can really see these guys. We're finally going to get to see these guys in live action. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's a shame that John Hightower is injured, because the one thing that you can say about John Hightower is that he had no problem getting open last year, and that's one of the toughest things that you can do for a wide receiver just newly coming into the NFL. His inconsistencies were tracking the ball, and so I really wanted to see him get better at that. And if he could have gotten better at that, he could have been a really good wide receiver. We're seeing Quez Watkins, really develop, and we heard Darius Slay speak very, very highly of Quez Watkins. And so I think that, John Hightower was a decent draft pick. The unfortunate thing is he's not getting the time. He's not getting the reps that Quez Watkins is getting. Therefore, we're not sure if he's going to be able to put it up. Tox Falcons says, shout out to Boise State, John Hightower. He was great for us. Yeah, no, again, he has that ability to be a productive receiver in the NFL. And again, he was also, I think he had the most 50-yard catches for a Philadelphia Eagle last year. That's kind of saying a lot. I mean, it's kind of saying a lot. It's kind of not saying a lot for one of our wide receivers last year. But I mean, him being a rookie and coming in and doing that and being that for Carson was great. And then he just kind of drifted off into nothingness. I think it's interesting that they have both Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert listed as number ones. I don't think we're going to see, a lot of those guys play in the preseason. I do think that we're going to see a lot of our backup tight ends. I think we're going to see a lot of Richard Rodgers. I think we're going to see a lot of Tyree Jackson, and then Jack Stoll. I think those things are going to happen. We'll probably see a lot of, we'll probably see some Dallas Goedert. I gotta be honest with you guys on this one. I'm not sure what we're going to see out of our tight ends, whether Zach Ertz or Dallas Goedert are going to play or not. We'll just have to see. But And then offensive line, obviously some of the starters for the offensive line are not going to be in there, not going to be playing. Talking about Brandon Brooks, and Isaac Samalu. I don't see those guys playing, but Jack Driscoll will probably get the nod, at right guard, and so he'll play. And we have great depth along the offensive line, which is good news for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I mean that's kind of how they've been doing it all camp anyway. They've been giving a lot of reps to the depth of the offensive line, and that's one of those things that you can say is our strong suit. So I'm not worried about that, and I think that that's where we might have control of point of contact against the Steelers, and pretty much throughout this preseason is especially when it comes to the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, is just the trenches, because we have the depth along the offensive and the defensive line. Now, speaking of the defensive line, what do I want to see? I want to see Marlon Tupelotu. There's not a lot that's been said about him throughout camp, and not a lot of nuggets. We've heard about Milton Williams and how they're moving him along the defensive line, and how he's having a phenomenal camp. Brandon Graham is having a decent camp, but Josh Sweat is having one of the best of camps, and so is Derek Barnett. And so for those guys, because of those guys are really turning it on, I want to see them fly off the ball in the preseason. I mean, I really want to see them fly off the ball. I want to see just how well they're doing. I want to see, cornerback Steven Nelson do a phenomenal. I want to see what he's bringing to Philadelphia, and I want to see if that's affecting Darius Slay. I want to see how Darius Slay is bouncing back. Actually in this new regime, and Anthony Harris, what he's actually bringing. That's the thing is, we've been talking about this for a while now, and so now we're gonna actually get to see it a little bit in tomorrow's first game, and I'm excited. I'm extraordinarily excited. And then Zeke McPherson, man, I cannot wait to see Zach McPherson. Sorry, not Zeke. Zach McPherson. He's been the highlight rookie 4th round pick cornerback. For the Philadelphia Eagles that everybody keeps talking about, and so I want to see just how good he is. And not a lot has been said about Avonte Maddox and him moving back to the slot, but I kind of heard some things here and there just the other day that he's been doing decent. He's been doing a decent job going back to the slot, so I want to see how he's doing as well. So those are some of the things, as well as the linebackers. The linebackers took a hit. And so I want to see how Alex Singleton is doing with his progression, how Eric Wilson is doing with his progression. You know what I mean? So but mainly, those are some of the things that I'm really looking for, that I'm really excited about. Zach McPherson on defense, Milton Williams, how these young defensive line guys are doing. And then on offense is Jalen Hurts has to impress me, because I gotta tell you, the Eagles organization, they have a bar, they have a line that they need this guy to hit in order to have him earn the job long term. And there is a bar, and what that bar is, we don't know. And it's probably set pretty high, because Jeffrey Lurie has said year in and year out that they want a top 5 passing offense. And that's not really what Jalen does. He's a guy that, makes plays happen with his feet and improvises. And, there's only few in the league that can really do that. You know what I mean? Like Russ can do that. Russ can lead a top 5 passing offense with his, and still do what he does. And so can Dak. Dak Prescott can do that. But he's not like a traditional passer. So we'll just have to see. And then also the wide receivers and the running backs. So I want to make sure to get out there that I'm excited, because I kind of want to. There's a lot of things that I want to take away from this preseason game tomorrow. Toxic Falcon says Eagles versus Falcons week 1. I can smell it. Can you smell it? What does it smell like? What does it smell like? It smells like a dead falcon. What does a dead falcon smell like? Baloney. Just kidding. Toxic Falcons says the Dallas Cowboys just put on Twitter, Dak is going to get another MRI. I actually saw that earlier. Yeah, I saw that earlier. It was about a few hours ago. Yeah, he's going to get an MRI on that shoulder. We'll see. We'll see. It might be precautionary. I think it's the smart thing to do. I think that they should have done it a week ago to get an MRI on the shoulder, just to see what it is. But yeah, I mean, and Talks Falcon says, but it's nothing serious. They say they're going to say that because they don't want their fans to worry right now, and fans would go into straight up panic mode if Dak was injured, long term again. They just would. But that kind of leads me into my next streaming video, which I will load up after this stream. That's for sure. But I cannot break any opinions about that one yet, because there is something that has just recently been released on Twitter. SportsCenter just released the news, but we'll just have to talk about that in another stream. But yeah, no, as far as this preseason, this first preseason game, Eagles versus the Steelers tomorrow, baby. Week 1 preview. I'm really excited. I'm kind of excited to see everybody. I'm excited to see what Jalen can do. Look, I know. Here's the thing. I think some of these inconsistencies, some of these hesitancies are coming from the fact that they're asking him to do a lot in the pocket, and apparently they're asking him to do a lot pre-snap, and that makes sense. They're trying to get him to learn a lot more. But Jalen has always been the guy that, he's great. He's great when he adds the improvisation into his game, and that really does add another dimension that does make him dangerous, in game and on the field. And so, and that's kind of what we saw. That's kind of what we saw on that 4-game sample size last year. Is he made things happen on the fly, improvising. So Jalen will be one of my things to watch. I think he's going to be one of the big guys to watch for everybody. I don't think that's a newsbreaker here. And so will Quez Watkins. And I really want to see. I really want to see Zach Ertz. I don't think he's going to play, but I really want to see. I really want to see Zach Ertz. But Quez Watkins and Kenny Gainwell. Mike Nixon says, Mike Nixon, welcome to the chat, my dude. Happy first preseason eve. Good luck tomorrow. I'll be watching the game tomorrow, as well as Washington and New England. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you wishing the Philadelphia Eagles well wishes. Yeah, no, I kind of just went over. I'm really excited to see different players from the offense, different players from the defense. And I think that's I think that one of the things, a couple of the things that will be our strength throughout the preseason and throughout the first, second, and third, and fourth quarters is probably the depth along our offensive line, and our defensive line too, and also just having depth at running back too. That's one of the things as well. Is I think. Again, going into this preseason is running back competition is still a strong one. Kerryon Johnson is still needing to make his case to be on this team, and it just doesn't look like he is going to in time. But there's still a lot of time left. They really like Jordan Howard. They obviously Miles Sanders is billed as the number 1, and then Boston Scott is probably a lock to make the team, and then Kenny Gainwell. And so if they keep 5, who's going to be that fifth guy. But they really like Jordan Howard, but there are analysts throughout the league who are back and forth whether it's going to be Kerryon Johnson or Jordan Howard, but they really like Jordan Howard as the number 2 behind Miles Sanders. So there is that. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see, man. We'll just have to see. But again, just want to come in here and make sure I check in with you guys for the preview, and then also just remind you who I am. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. One love and happy Wednesday, everybody. And we will be back after a short break. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles back from that short break. So, what do you guys want to see out of this defensive secondary when it comes to the first preseason game against the Steelers tomorrow? With all this hype that's been built up about Zach McPherson, I want to see some PBUs, baby. I want to see some PBUs. I want to see possibly an interception from Zach McPherson. I mean, he's going to run with the twos, or maybe he's going to run with the ones. I don't know. I don't know what Jonathan Gannon is planning. And I don't know how much he's going to reveal, but apparently, I mean, they're disguising everything. So we'll just have to see. I think that's kind of what I want to see. I want to see Darius Slay play well, and I want to see Steven Nelson. I want to see what he's going to bring to this team. So those are the types of things that I want to see. I want to see some good, decent, dominant play, because that's all we've been hearing about is the dominance of this defense throughout training camp. As far as linebackers are concerned, I guess I'll go there again. Eric Wilson, I think that he's been having a great camp. And I think that I want to see us have a good linebacker core again. So his progression, his positive development is going to be huge as well. Alex Singleton, same thing. Great to have him back. It's unfortunate that we lost Davion Taylor, because he's one of those guys, man, that he needed this playing time. So I hope that we get him back sooner rather than later. But with that said, this is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday night. Stay safe, stay healthy, one love, and go Birds, baby.